welcome to the Divine Intervention Podcast. Check me out on the other platforms. Was it TikTok, the Instagram, and the YouTube? Trying to spread out and do some more stuff on there. I think y'all seem to like the TikTok and y'all like the Instagram a little bit, and y'all really took to YouTube, especially the little current events thing. I'm gonna try to do more of that. But anyways, today we are actually gonna touch on credit and credit cards and how to manage them. You know, a lot of people are afraid of credit cards, and I personally don't blame them. But credit cards can be good if you use them wisely. Actually, to actually manage your credit cards, I say Dave Ramsey is a pretty good person to go to as far as like managing your credit cards. And he talks about the snowball method, which pretty much means pay down the least amount owed. Was it the card with the least amount, and then work your way up from there. Also, for me, how I manage mine is put all your expenses on a credit card, but pay the credit card off every month. And then on top of that, if you have a credit card that you have a high balance on, you need to use websites such as NerdWallet and I think it's bankrate.com or something like that, to actually find credit cards with that offer deals on 0% on balance transfers. That right there alone helps you out, because hey, you can pay off this credit card debt with zero interest, which is pretty awesome. Like, honestly, with your credit cards, you shouldn't really have to pay any interest. If you have to pay interest, then you need to bust that thing out and pay it down as fast as you can. Also, with credit cards, you need to keep your credit utilization down. Like, don't use it. Honestly, you're not supposed to max it out. So don't run it above. I recommend don't run it above 20%. And honestly, it's not a bad thing to have a lot of credit cards. It's actually pretty good, because hey, your credit utilization can actually like stay down the more credit cards you have and the more credit you have available to you. So it wouldn't hurt as bad as you had to put a high bill on a credit card, because honestly, that's what they're for. Like, if you have like an emergency bill or whatever, you can put it on a credit card and just pay it down. That's okay, especially if the card is interest free. And that's another thing. I recommend you use cards that have 0% interest, and that's like the introductory rate, and pay it down as soon as you can if you're trying to get a big purchase. A lot of stores do this. I know Best Buy has a program. Was it 6 months or something? With no interest, which is a pretty good deal if you're trying to buy like a very expensive electronic device. And then, some other stuff too. But I say with credit cards, just make sure you try to not pay interest at all. That's your goal. Not to pay interest, and also get enough to where you build credit by paying it, like using it and paying it off, using it and paying it off. With credit cards, I also say be careful, because it can get you in trouble, because a lot of people will use the credit cards and go crazy and don't pay the bill back. The number one thing I see, and especially this summer, people using credit cards to go traveling and just max it out, and then just spend months on months and paying for it. The rule of traveling is if you can afford to pay for the trip up front, then you go. If you can't pay all that at one sitting, then you need to sit at home, or you need to put it on a prepayment plan to where you prepay it ahead of time, so you're fine. Me, I don't personally agree with having to prepay for a trip, but I'd rather you prepay for a trip beforehand than, having to put it on a credit card where you can't afford to go on the trip in the first place. And the reason why I say I don't agree on prepaying for a trip, because if it gets canceled, you kind of screwed either way or the other. Like, you have to pay extra for the insurance or whatever, and then for flights, you don't get your refund back. You get credit back. So, like, for instance, I was supposed to go to Greece. I mean, I paid for the tickets up front anyways, but I end up getting credit back, and I end up getting credit to somebody else. So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I knew I was able to afford it, and it wasn't no sweat off my back when hey things went south. But you just have to you have to know that hey, if you can't afford to lose that money up front, then hey, you need to just chill out on like putting small amount of money on trips or whatever. And a lot of people like, hey, I don't have S amount of money to be spent. Look, if you don't have S amount of money to be spending, then you don't have S amount of money to be going out and doing all kind of stuff either. So nah, like the argument of hey, well, if you ain't got it, you got to find out a way to go get it. That's the thing. Go find ways to get the money. Like, hey, if you got to save up the money, that's fine. But my opinion is, hey, save up the money and pay for it all at one time and know that you're going. And that's just it. But just don't rob yourself of an opportunity cost either. Like, don't just save the money and don't invest money either, because you're supposed to invest money every month. But anyway, it's supposed to be about credit cards, but I'm gonna go on that's a little side tangent. But anyways, with your credit cards, yeah, I don't recommend you putting like trying to put like a whole trip all at once on your credit card if you can't afford to pay it off. Really, you should buy your stuff ahead of time anyways, and the only thing you have to worry about paying for on the trip is maybe the hotel room, if you don't feel like paying that ahead of time, and the and the food and other like food, drinks, and other tourist like expenses you're gonna get on that trip. So I guess I'll turn this episode into trips too. So it is the summertime right now, so yeah. Trips are very important. The trips are a common thing. And honestly, I see a lot of people who are going on trips, and it looks like they are not able to afford the living situation from what I'm seeing too, because it's like a lot of people traveling and they are going out and about, and I'm like, dang, these fools make less money than me. I don't know what they doing, but I'm like, I know well, yeah, but hey, it is what it is. Like, people prioritize different things, but I just say be careful with who you're traveling with and whatnot, because hey, you should honestly be traveling by yourself, and that's real life tip. You should be able to pay for traveling by yourself just in case somebody else bails out. Like me, I don't do group things too often. And if I do, I pay my own room, board, hotel, I food, all that. I pay myself. I don't do no group thing to where I'm depending on another person to share a room. Nah, I don't do that. You do that, you get trapped. And that's just called not being able to stand up on your own, because a lot of people try to say, hey, I've been to this place but can't afford to go to that place. Or people end up going to this place just to take pictures or whatever. I mean, it's cool you going to take pictures with me. I feel like if a person is well traveled, they will be able to take a lot of the culture that they learn from these places and apply it in their real life. Half the time, people don't even understand the culture of some of these countries they go to. From my viewpoint and people I've observed, I'm not gonna say they're friends of mine, but I'm gonna say I observed the number one thing I hear, because I'm African and from basically for the African American people, all I hear is whether they like black people or not, or about racial experiences. I don't hear about cultural things and customs and all that. I hear about, hey, is it black friendly? And my thing is, if they are black friendly, cool, but I need to hear about cultural experiences too. Like, that is actually lacking. So to me, I feel like some of these traveling experiences are not even worth it, because people are not actually learning anything. And I think vacationing and traveling are two different things. Like, to vacation is just to chill out and relax and just sit and drink your margarita and just chill on the beach. I like the vacation, to be honest. Traveling, hey, I can do it. I like it, but I have to learn something. It has to be able to teach me things. So that just, I guess that's just me anyways, but I just feel like traveling and vacation are two different things. And hey, I'm down with either, but being able to learn and build your knowledge based on different cultures is like very important when you're a traveler. So like seeing the stuff in the history books or whatever, or my social studies books, is cool, but it ain't something I care to do because I already done seen it and read about it. I want to have experience that I haven't read about, and something that I would take home and just say, hey, they do this and this and this or whatever, or they have this and this custom or whatever. But a lot of that's not really passed on, and that's really a shortcoming of this traveling and vacation intervention now. Like even vacationing, you'll learn a little bit, and that's where you learn about different foods and drinks and stuff. That's cool because it's cool to try different foods. I say me, I got an appetite. I eat anything. So I'm just like, hey, let's try something new. Like try something new and see if it tastes good. So it's nothing wrong with that. So my phones keep going off, but I'm gonna keep it in there. But anyways, this is getting long-winded too. I say with credit cards, manage them. Like do what I told you, the websites. Also, just know the difference between traveling and stuff. Traveling and vacationing, and just know how to affordably be able to travel and not just traveling on a whim and a prayer. Like, you shouldn't have to travel and be praying and like, oh my goodness, what I'm gonna do when I get home? I might not be able to have no food. If you're in that situation, you need to sit your butt at home. But that's it for today. Hope everybody is having fun and be safe out there. Talk to y'all later.